Hey everybody, ¿qué pasó? Welcome back to Armando's house. There's a lot of things going on at Armando's house, and we talk about it all here. Today we're going to be talking about parenting during COVID or this lockdown situation. And depending where you live right now, it might be normal, quote unquote normal, or you might be in a lockdown like we are here. But irrespective of what your situation is right now, I think we can all agree that our world has changed. And that introduces a shift that we need to make as parents in the way that we parent our children and the way that our children are educated. And we've got a lot of questions in our house that we ask all the time about what the future might hold and the things that we should be doing as parents to help our children along the way. So this will be a theme and a topic for all those parents out there. So number one, the things that we talk about here at home is primarily the world has changed, right? Government is changed all of a sudden and is much more visible in our lives, right? Governments were there facilitating in the background and largely in the news and in the media. But today, with all of the lockdowns, all of the vaccinations, all those things changing, we feel government much more in our lives. And, I think one of the things that we've realized here is we can't depend on the government in a time of crisis. We can't depend on others in a time of crisis. We can't depend on a business. We can't depend on the social structure being there when things fall apart. And there were some scary times over the last year and a half. And so for us, one of the big learnings out of this experience has been, making sure that our children are self-sufficient and that they think independently, right? And that they're there to think critically about what's happening around them, and that they can think for themselves and take care of themselves and not have to depend on what the government thinks or what other, what's going around them, right? I think that is super critical for us as parents to help educate our children and give them the tools and the structure and the environment to be able to do that. Because unlike the past, where you can depend on, for example, jobs being there or even social structure being there, I think the fragility of the world today, the shift that we've seen, really requires us to have, people that are independent, that can build even when there's nothing around them, right? So I think as parents, that's number one. But, it's funny. Yesterday I was talking to a good friend of mine that I haven't talked to in months, and we were kind of sharing the experience that we're going through right now. He and I both live here in Melbourne, and there's still a lockdown. Actually, I think we're on day 230 or something like that of lockdown. It's just ridiculous. But he mentioned the word screen time, and I had to laugh because before this whole change happened, we really cared a lot about screen time. We'd monitor screen time, we'd manage it, we'd shut it down after a certain amount of time. And I have to laugh now because, with everything that's happened, thankfully we have all the devices for the kids to be able to connect. So my little one, she's been getting, obviously all the kids that we have at home, all three of them, they've been doing online schooling. But for the little one, the screen time, we've got to manage because, there's only so much that you can do as a little kid online in terms of learning. We try to push her out there. So we do have to manage that. But for the older ones, that's how they connect with their friends, right? All their friends are online. They can't see them, live. So they've got to connect with them via devices. So we've really kind of pulled that back. But I'd be interested what other parents are doing out there around screen time. Do you care as much? Do you kind of let it go? Do you have an open policy around it? How do you kind of view that? But I think, so that's one kind of small tactical thing, but largely for us, we've really encouraged our children, especially now, right, to think independently, think about your future, create for yourself, whether that's creating your own business, making your own music, making your own craft to sell, being self-sufficient, even, how you derive your income. Those types of things are super, super critical, I think, in the future. And especially if you think about the backdrop, even prior to this transition of the last year and a half, what was happening in the education system where we're kind of valuing is a 4-year degree, worth, especially in the US, the costs of, education university is super high now, right? So is it worth it, right? And, before you could go to school for 4 years and you bank on that job being there. Now that's not guaranteed while it's transitioned. So being an independent thinker, thinking for yourself is super critical. That's not to say that you don't go to university, right? We're big supporters of that, but have the end goal in mind, right? And think about not just getting a degree, but where you'll be at the end of that. And whether you go to school, you start your own business, you want to be independent in your thinking, all the way through. So that's kind of been the big theme for us. But anyways, I'd love to hear what you guys are doing in your house, right? What you're doing in your house to educate your children. What changes have you made over the last year and a half with everything that's gone on? And what are the other things that you've seen as kind of successful kind of parenting, maybe either tips or tricks or kind of big pillars that you've kind of instilled in your life to help, educate our children and arm them for the changes that are coming in the world so they can have, the best life possible. Let me know in the comment section. I know it's a broad topic, and hopefully some of these kind of ideas have helped others, but please contribute. Let me know. Last thing, folks, if you like any of the content we've created on this channel over the last few days, please let me know. We are definitely trying to find our way here. We've gotten a lot of great feedback. We're trying a few different things. Let us know what you like. Please comment below. Please subscribe to the channel, and please share this for anybody that you feel fit. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. See you.